Tonight, President Trump dropped the longest State of the Union in American history, 1 hour and 48 minutes, beating his own record. And here's why it was a complete win for the administration and a total disaster for Democrats.
What do you think about that moment when the president was asking Democrats to stand up for American citizens during that part of the speech when he was talking about immigration and immigration enforcement efforts?
I think you can agree with the what, like standing up for American citizens, but I disagree with the how. And so it's always about how do we bring our country together, but not stand on the backs of others. There's thinly veiled racist language in what he was asking, and that was uncomfortable.
Yes, this was a simple trap Trump put these people in, and they all fell into that trap. Everybody sitting down implies they don't love America. If you go around social media, this is exactly what you will see.
I think the part of the speech that's probably going to live on for most Republicans is when he asked the Congress, stand up if you think your duty is first to American citizens before illegal aliens. Republicans stood up. It gave him his most sustained applause for the night. I suspect, man, you're going to see this in a lot of campaign ads that Democrats wouldn't stand up. What did you all think of the showmanship of that, or of sort of the spectacle of trying to get Democrats to stand up for that?
Well, I think the point, I think that and it may have gotten a little muddled, but, in the showmanship, but I think his point is valid. Everybody in that room represents the citizens in this country. And are you doing your job? He should, the governor asked, is Trump doing his job? Trump asked, are all of you doing your job?
The bottom line is that I feel betrayed by my country. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to return to the values that gave us our strength and humanity. If you want our leaders to be accountable, if you're devoted to the Constitution and the rule of law, if you want the United States of America to be worthy of your love, be ready to take this to the streets together, and we will take our country back.
Seeing people on CNN actually acknowledging this should tell you something. I watched the whole speech. Democrats did not like their people to see what was going on. They decided to organize their own. If you remember, during the Super Bowl, Turning Point USA decided to organize theirs to counteract what was happening with Bad Bunny. At some point, they had a lot of viewers. Democrat copied that strategy. I saw Joy Ree and some of these people coming out, but at some point, it was a little bit embarrassing because the kind of things I saw during their gathering, to me, that was not anything to counteract what was happening. When you look at polls, it clearly shows you a lot of people actually watched Trump's speech and they believe that he would do the right job. Seeing Democrat fall into this trap is something I did not see coming.
If there's one thing the State of the Union proved, it's that patriotism and love of country really bother these folks on the left. As President Trump said, these people are crazy. The fact that some Democrats would not stand for a 100-year-old veteran who sacrificed for this country so we can have freedoms and liberties is absolutely sickening. They also would not stand for Irina Zarutska's family, Irina work. There were over 70 Democrats who would not even show up for the State of the Union. They hosted an alternative Drain the Swamp event with people in frog costumes. They are a bunch of overgrown theater kids who don't want to do any actual work. They can't even get participation trophies because they didn't participate or show up. Now, Sisterhood of the Traveling Scammers, they did show up, but the second President Trump mentioned for loving our country, Ilhan Omar was apoplectic. She was melting down. There are Democrats who would not stand for the Olympic men's hockey team. This isn't even a partisan issue. Okay, sports are supposed to bring everybody together. Look at this guy. Okay, he's in a mask. He won't even turn to look at them. This is a member of the media. Remember, 90% of the media, they hate you and I, and they also align themselves with the Democratic Party and carry water for them. One Democrat who did show up was Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if she was overserved at dinner. She had a hard time keeping her eyes open, but a diet consisting of nothing but Pinot Grigio and hatred for Donald Trump.
What was your reaction to what you heard this evening?
I thought the speech was lazy. It's one thing to acknowledge patriotism and people getting well and everything when you have absolutely nothing to do with their courage or the rest. but you spend an hour and a half doing it. What is the state of the nation?
There was one moment, Madam Speaker, where he called you out specifically around, of course, congressional stock trading. What do you say back to him?
I say back to him, as that's what members said, look at your own self. The inference he wants to draw is there was something wrong with that, which there wasn't. And if there was, people get prosecuted for it. For a long time now, we've been trying to pass this law. It doesn't have, now it has more support than it had before. And
Elizabeth Warren stood up and applauded. Elizabeth Warren stood and applauded tonight when the president talked about it.
Well, we all did. I did too. He said, did Nancy stand up? Yeah, I did too. A lot of people stood up. A lot of Democrats stood up. I think that will pass, depending on what the bill is. I mean, what we had, we thought we could pass. It was actually a tougher bill than Governor Spanberger had put forth. We thought it could pass, but it was clear that it wasn't going to make it to the House and the Senate. But in any event, he gives his shout out. I don't pay any attention to him. What I'm concerned about is our democracy, which he is destroying, even in the 250th year anniversary.
Speaker, so much of, obviously, number one thing that people take away from watching the State of the Union is the president. But people are also watching for the reaction of the opposition party. And your leadership warned the caucus not to have any outbursts, not to take the bait. There was a moment where a couple of members did not, more than one moment, but I wanted to play one of them for you when a couple did not heed that. Just watch.
That was hardly noticeable in the room. It may have been more noticeable on TV. Hardly noticeable. And then also when he started talking about corruption, the members were saying, what about you? What about you?
Democrats, for their part, I think, Trace, they started off very well behaved. They sort of sat on the hands for most of it, and I was very impressed until you had a couple of members, Tlaib and Omar, who started screaming at the president. That was a national embarrassment.
If you watch this video very keenly, you realize Nancy Pelosi is uncomfortable. She actually doesn't like these kind of topics, She's pretending here, we've been struggling to pass this. For a very long time, since I started reporting these videos, this is never a topic for Democrats. They don't discuss this. I used to see some Republican calling out some other people like, you're doing insider trading, things like that. That has always been a thing that I see. Now her sitting here, I stood up, I uploaded. I did not see it. If Nancy Pelosi uploaded, after I've seen the videos here, a lot of things Trump said, these people did not do anything. They stood like this. Seeing Omar struggling to do this, you have done this, you have taken away the lives of America, it get me crazy. You cannot be under investigation. You continue to do this. You need to calm down. Yeah. At some point, this whole thing Democrat put out today was just a show. I put out the videos. I think I'm going to play some of the short clips so you can see. They decided to divide themselves. Some will go here, some will go here. At the end of the day, this strategy did not work out because majority of people that watch this, they are impressed. The Democrat will never accept that. They will always criticize. They will say some ridiculous things about Trump, about this whole thing. But to me, it was a success. Yeah. Based on my observations and what I see on social media, Trump putting out the highest speech is something I never saw coming. Like at this age, Trump is still able to stand up there, give a speech. Watching Jimmy Kimmel say, he was angry. Trump was not angry. When Biden gave his State of the Union address last time, we saw how he was angry. But people like this did not report on that.
What a speech it wasn't, huh? I can't believe America missed an all-new Will Trent for this one. It was angry, right? It was an angry speech.
Goes through to get here and to press this country to the border. I stuck at the border. Go Trump! Go Trump! Hey Murphy, you're a scumbag. Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy.
I'm a mother. I am a physician, and I have a flag.
I'm fresh out of prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times over us being ourselves.
Among speech watchers tonight, 64% say his policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. And look at the growth President Trump made over the speech. So pre-speech, it was 54% of speech watchers said his policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. After the speech, that number goes up 10 percentage points. So
how awful would it be to be one of these leftists?
I don't want to talk much. I think I'm going to end here. I want to appreciate people's support and sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clips I'm about to play, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip.
That can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Because Patel posted this on X.
People on the left are absolutely losing their minds. Because now it's our job.
I get suspicious when anybody, whether it's
No one should be above scrutiny.
I think that Whoopi Goldberg, you might want to think.
Wasn't their whole testimony?
Don't use it as a
person's home. It's very easy to understand.
When I look at that video, I don't see both sides in a dogmatic.
The Golden Globe for Best Editing goes to the Justice Department.
This is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
Yes. Of course, this is for the mother.
Babies are upstairs watching. Y'all better be on them damn phones and watching me.
Thank you, everyone. I'm a little in shock about that.
Maduro.
Let your hatred and
Sit this one out.
Well, these guys.
There you go.
$1,800.
Let's see if they get this.
Well,
I want to see them get it.
MAGA's going to break up because of Donald Trump's criticism of Robin.
Can sit at either place. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
So you and your husband were friends?
Everybody knew that wasn't true.
A dangerous
To take this family tragedy in which the president had made no comment.
When people ought to have.
Yeah.
Absolute horror.
Hi, Mel Gibson. I'm in Italy.
There is a quota system.
This is my 6th and last year hosting the Grammys. Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish.
New York rent is crushing people.
They stuck to
This country's in such emotional turmoil.
and Republicans on both sides.
And when you get the chance to go to the White House, meet the president.
this actor Robert De Niro.